used to work for KGB, but now I'm retired. I was in the business of carrying out specific tasks for national security for the former Soviet Russia. It was a difficult task, yes, but very rewarding. I had plenty of interactions with some American opposition, however, that proved very difficult to outmatch. One man specifically, Detective Morgan, Robert D. Morgan. We had a history together, yes. A long history. It was only a short time ago when I last saw him. I was retired by that point, and so was he. Before the incident, I traveled to America once every few months for old time's sake. We met for coffee at a specific coffee shop and caught up. It was a reoccurring thing. We make amends with people. The sad truth was, we had no one else. Sure, I threatened him with explosives. I act like I carry a gun. I read 50 Shades of Grey in front of him, but it was all for prank. Joking. 4 weeks ago, I took a trip to ancient Egypt to see pyramids. I like to see the world. Something was caught my eye, however. I was given special access because my security clearance was still active. It was brought to my attention that ancient virus was being preserved by the Russian Federation. This was no surprise. We have many diseases in preserve in my day. What caught my eye, though, was the detail that they were working on it, mutating it. After back to homeland, I did a little research. What I found, I had to tell someone, but I needed to choose a side. I could help government work on the virus and potentially kill thousands of people, or I could tell good detective. I had a meeting with Morgan in a few days, but I didn't say anything. I figured we could have last one go-round. Instead, I invited him to Russia and told him I'd give him a tour. He went with me after a few days, but he knew something was going on. While at the hotel room, I left him. I told him I was going to take a rest. I called a few colleagues of mine to see if they know anything about the virus, and one of them did. I met up with him and the key leaders of the project and told them that I brought Morgan with me, and maybe we could use him to get some American secrets. It was only to threaten. I would never, at this point anyway, kill Detective Morgan, so I told them where his hotel, and they broke in, but he was gone. I should have known he wouldn't go down without a fight. I went back home and met him over there, in my room, reading my papers on the virus. He had never been to my home before, but once again, I should have known better. He told me that he knows about virus, and that I need to show him. So the next morning, we went to Egypt, again, to see what I found it. I could have stopped it there, but I did not. I told the Russian Federation that we'd be leaving in 2 days for a trip to Egypt. They met us there, at the bottom of one of the pyramids, with a vial filled with the virus. We tied him up and asked him questions, but he would not answer. After syringing him with some of the virus, we threatened him with a needle. We kept asking, but he continued to resist. After a few minutes, leaders of the project got impatient and tried to inject it to him. But for some reason, I'll never know why, I stopped them. I held them back for just long enough for the Americans who were coming down to rescue him. Americans, always running late. They shot at us and wounded a few people, but eventually made it away. Well, it doesn't look like we'll be having breakfast anytime soon. But the positive side is our adventures are far from over.
Alright, the prompt's for you, Michael. Theme: the customer is always right. Character: Steven, a single father of 3 kids who needs to have a busy weekend off. Genre: business management. Item: a stolen sweater vest with the ink tag still attached. Place: corporate office. Plot shred: a character complains about the messiness and customer service of one of the corporation's many locations. Alright, Michael, I'll see you later. Clever outro!